Cohen said yes, Blanche objected, but the judge let him say that. And this is one of the big problems, is that you let him say this, and the judge said, well, you can infer then that Trump is guilty, but you can use this to assess Cohen's credibility. Well, as Lydia Hu points out, this is why we need Bradley A. Smith to say what is and what is not an FEC violation. He worked at the FEC, especially.
And tonight, inside the game, all seasonal.
Yeah, right.
All right, real quick, I will just say, I think what this is coming down to, did you falsify business records? That's 34 counts, it was a misdemeanor, again, the statute of limitations are already run out, so that's what I need for the felony, any extra, like, there's charge. I'm still looking for the proof, I'm listening, I'm watching, I'm reading for the proof of the falsification of business records. This is coming down to Michael Cohen on one side and Donald Trump and Weisselberg, who's silent, on the other side. If you don't believe Michael Cohen, they don't case.
So they're in a lunch break now. I wonder what they're having.
sub-Saharan country. It's landlocked, it's one of the poorest countries. He was working as a nurse midwife technician in rural communities. And his academic journey has brought him to the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill to get a master's in global public health. Over 10 years of healthcare experience, Gideon started out as a midwife nurse and was serving rural populations in Raleigh. He grew in his knowledge and expertise, and over the last 7 years, he was a key contact for the Ministry of Health in Raleigh. And he led several programs, including designing programs to deliver healthcare to refugees, asylum seekers, and other underserved communities. He led the public health response to these communities for COVID-19.
Thank you very much. Greetings, everyone. It's great to be here today. Like John rightly said, so I'm really very proud to be here for a number of reasons I'll just mention two. First one being, see a lot of familiar faces that have been very supportive. This fellow from Raleigh, the US family, but also my host family, John Kings, belongs to this Rotary. Even if family is World Region and transition, it's still from Africa to the US. People who have been through this war transitioning to a different country don't know it's very easy, but thanks to Rotary, also my husband, very grateful. So what I'm going to share today is an overview of my journey for the work that I've done to my current position as a Rotary is class 1.2. So I'm going to take you through my presentation that basically talks about my experience, my way, and my transition into the Rotary.
Nope. I got you.
Thank you so much. So where I come from, Africa. You can see from the map, it's very, very tiny country, quite the whole kind of country. Close to South Africa, which is one of the largest economies in that region, and also very good. Currently, we have a population of around 20 million people. 80% of the population lives in rural. Our economy is story based. Things that we rely so much on rainfall. So there's been a lot of changes in the climate. Our country has been one of the hit with the hit of climate change because we only see rainfall once a year. So it's slight change in that pattern end up in the sector, but also the growing of our country. As I think you might have heard my introduction mention, I began my career as a nurse midwife technician. What happened in our country? Malawi had one of the highest maternal mortality rates, somewhere around 800 to between 800 and 600 deaths per 100,000 live births. So I mean, for every 100,000 women that we were losing about 800 every year. So what the government did, one of the biggest really was applying health workers. So this included nurses, midwives, OBGYNs and other. But looking at what the government could offer them, they could not train such highly skilled health workers because it takes about 4 to 5 years to train a full nurse, midwife, and sometimes it takes maybe 7 years to train a physician, 8 to 10 years to train an OBGYN. So what the government did was to come up with an intermediary kind of patient to cover up, just to make sure that, because by the time where this specialist will be sort of like assigned to specialists or singles. So for example, Malawi has a population of 20 million, but has about 4% of these are specialist facilities where you get all the specialist care and stuff. So to be able to cover that, ensure that even people in the rural area have the access to health care, they come up with the solution of training the intermediary health workers. So I happen to be one of the people who are trained as a nurse and midwife. Essentially, it supports women and laborers throughout the whole process. For the reproductive health services for especially for women and children. So I went for about 4 years. My first allocation was in the rural area because that's where we have to for such kind of thing. Most of the time when they are almost everywhere they're going to be in the urban areas because that's where you have the cost of big night, where you have a lot of electricity and stuff. In the rural areas where you don't have this, nobody would want to work there. So the idea of the government was to train these health workers and deploy them where they are needed most, which is the rural area where you have a large number of residents. So I happened to be deployed on my first 3-year training. I was deployed there and worked there for 4 years. But during my first deployment, what I learned is that one of the cases that I was we ended up losing the lady who was giving birth because we could not transfuse immediately. Because at that particular time, we could not, we did not have resources. So by design, when we are looking at the rural area, the first point of entry will be a health center. So health centers do not have any laboratory, not do the grooming and postmortem and stuff, so they can do transfusion. So we had a lady who had no the result of birth. Then we could not transfuse. We needed to transfer to sort of like transfer her immediately to a facility that was about 3 hours. But we were unable to do that because one, we had an issue with transportation. Two, we didn't have the capacity to provide the much needed plan. For us to save her life, we wanted to do it. We could not do that because we didn't. So I remember we provided the care to her and we were able to stabilize her at 8. It was around 8 p.m. But the ambulance could not come up to around 11. So as a result, we lost. So by design, some of people have worked in the health. Whenever you have lost the patient, you need to provide a report. So I was really, it really affected me because one, this was two. You don't expect that at first deployment. So I was so much concerned with the first that I took the care to my seniors, so that I could hear what they were going to see. To my surprise, it was like business as usual from there. Nobody was so much concerned. It was as if they have seen a lot of that. It's like a order of the day. People die, and people can come to the hospital. You don't expect everybody to make it. I was so that like when I went back, I think I cannot end here. There's no way I can continue to work this particular level one. That I cannot work with my, because some of the things that I can do is out of my. So that's when I developed a heart to pursue further my studies, just to make sure that I move at least away from the actual care that I'm giving, but at least go to somewhere where I can influence decision making. So after doing that, that's when I enrolled for a bachelor. So when I graduated from that program, I was recruited by the Ministry of Health to support primary health care for refugee community. I'm going to talk about the refugee community a little bit later. But the idea of doing that, make sure that, okay, how best do we influence decision making to make sure that it works to the benefit of the underserved communities? How best do we translate our skills, our capacity, make sure that we are able to give back to the people that we are going to serve? Right, having the skills whether but then how best do we also influence policy through decision making to make sure that we bring the action to the people in? So I was by then Minister of the refugee program in 2016, beginning of the year. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that program. So when the ministry entrusted me to read the primary specifically for refugee and asylums in Malawi, by then there were about 30 refugees and asylums. So Malawi is a signatory to a number of UN frameworks. One of it is the UN Declaration for the protection and management of refugees. So us being a signatory of such, we are mandated as a country to provide asylum and also protection to people who are fleeing wars of different countries. So government on its own did not have that, because I think Malawi is also one of the poorest countries, basically the primary healthcare needs for its population. So we were able to do that through agencies, including the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, UNHCR. So the camp that I was with, by design as a minister of political point for refugees, what it meant is that all health programming in the country was put on my shoulder. So the country had 2 main refugee camps, but also transit shelters. So the transit shelter, people coming in the country, you welcome them, then they are assessed, they go through immigration and stuff, and they are taken to the refugee camps. So one of the main refugee camps that I was working in before I moved to the US is that refugee camp. So the refugee camp was meant to hold about 10,000 at its maximum. But now the camp hosts about 50,000 individuals. So I know the pictures are not very clear, but that was the 2 pictures on the far left and far right. These are like the very view pictures we use that we get those of the camp that I was working in. So if you can see, the camp is densely populated, and even the settlement is so dense. In an ideal situation with the emergency of COVID-19, maybe the recommendation would be that the household would be at least spread out, so that we prevent transmission of diseases, diarrhea, but also COVID-19. But unfortunately, because of the size of the land that we were afforded, we were not able to do that. And also looking at the numbers that we were receiving in the country of refugees and asylums. So the picture in the middle, I think it was just during we were commissioning one of the quarantine isolation centers during the COVID-19 response. I'm going to share more of that in the next. So now, specifically, I just want to talk about our response to COVID-19 in 2020, because this is like a typical classic work that we were doing. But also because this was a huge challenge for us as frontline responders to primary health care, especially in emergency for large population. So we were to respond to COVID-19 in a camp that had 50,000 population. But also, not only that, the camp that had 50,000 densely populated refugees and asylums to a disease that was highly transmissible from water. It was a very big challenge for us. But, and also, being the representative of the Ministry of Health, I was tasked to lead the entire group of organizing the response to that the pandemic. So this was in 2020, 2021. I know in other countries, COVID hit in 2019, but in the part of Africa that I was, we started seeing the effects more later than 2020. So what we did was to come up with a team that was entrusted to coordinate the entire response. So what happens when you are working in a refugee? You have the core population, the primary population that you're working for, which are the refugee themselves. But also you have the host community. These are the citizens or the people who sort of like, you have built the camp, but they have villages that surround them, or the district that the camp that you're serving is hosting. So we're actually looking for two patients. So whenever we are designing the program, we need to design one to respond to the 50,000, but also to think of the other villages that surround them. Because you cannot, in the spirit of peace assistance, you cannot provide care to one in such kind of in those contexts. You need to think of it. So when we were designing this response, we were supported by different partners. Key to this was the UNHCR, the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, that provided huge support for us of this. So we ended up coming up with what we call the isolation center. So the idea is that you have population in one place, already 50,000 or so, but then you still have new arrivals, people who are going in transit, passing different borders, different countries. We want to make sure that at the very best, we reduce the contacts, the new arrivals, because these were the high risk crimes. So what we did was come up with that isolation data. These pictures are just showing the time that we had finished everything and then we were commissioning it. So we came up with that to make sure that everybody who's moving into the camp is isolated for about 10 days before they are taken, before they are able to be with them. The idea is that within the 10 days, we'll be able to run all the tests, and then we'll be able to conclude that okay, they do not have the virus. But what we were pretty much, we had the virus in the camp, and we had the transmission rate that we had. We will not be able to respond with such kind of outbreak. So because the transmission center and the quarantine was very much, it ended up catering for not only the, also the entire district. So what we designed then was able to provide care and treatment for about 800,000 people. I mean, we were ready to respond. Our third one was designed in a way to say if the whole district was, we had an act outbreak, we designed the isolation center of the quarantine to be able to respond within that national population. So we were talking about 800,000 population. But after we did this, we were able to only admit not more than 200 people within from both populations, meaning the 50,000 and also from the surrounding community. And from the camp, the refugee community, we only registered deaths and not more than 100. So the large number of population that we had admitted really came from the host community that we were serving, not the refugee. So this is one of the typical examples that I want to share as one of the examples in my way that we're this challenge we're getting addressing this one. So moving forward, 2023, I was in August 2023. I moved to the US, but before that, we go through a lot of the process of applying for the Rotary Institute, series of interviews. But finally, before that was done in 2023, we were granted, I was granted the Rotary Institute, thanks to all the Rotarians and also Rotary International giving us the opportunity to study in the US. So in 2023, I moved to the US. Got enrolled at UN as a student doing an MBA in global health. This gives me the opportunity to learn more and build on some of that I already have, but also to learn more which would utilize global health as a tool, much as you were able to sort of like provide healthcare and then improve the health of the entire population, but more so as a tool of promoting peace across the globe. So what you see there, the picture, there is my cohort is about 7 people from across the country, across the globe. So from Africa, Australia, Asia, and so on and so on. Well, moving forward, after going through the training and through the experience inside, what am I looking forward to do? One, that I would like to utilize skills that I will learn through the to make sure that I'm able to give back to the people, to the communities that I serve, but also significantly contribute to improving the life of the marginalized population. The people that we have seen suffering throughout our work, also the marginalized communities that were in the world. Continue to use the faith of social justice. So, health is the human mind. Everybody has a right to health. So, like to use that right-based approach to rob for resources. For people who do not have to the much needed health services in their region, but also actively contribute to the global commitment to leaving no one behind. So essentially, the quality of care that is afforded elsewhere in the world, people who are in the remotest areas, the areas that have least do not have the same kind of services. So I just share this picture. This is part of the area that I've been working with. You can see there, the key that gives you an idea of the population in that particular area. So why I added that area is because you want to see that within that particular area, there is no tertiary or a well-established support programs for the needs. So what you're going to see there is only primary and maybe kind of services. So for them to be able to acquire the main service or the tertiary services, they will need it means they will need to travel 1,000 miles to get it. Well, I'm going to finish on this note. I always like this quote, but he that is greatest among you shall be your servant. Especially saying that if you want to be the greatest football, you should learn servant. Thank you very much. That will be the end of the presentation.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Gideon, for
Turn it on, turn it on.
thank you for our presentation, Gideon. We do have some questions, so if you are willing to answer any questions that we can ask.
Yes, sir.
About the situation that you described for the incentives to cause workers to be willing to go into the rural areas and help when they have facilities that are so, in need of basic things that we take for granted here, like blood, for transfusions. And what incentives is it possible for the, country to use with the Ministry of Health, I suppose, to get people willing to, go to those rural areas? Statistics on the death rate were shocking. So I just wonder solutions there are to incentivize people to be willing to serve.
Right, so thank you very much. Really, I think your question reminds me of my first employment as a young person working in the rural areas. One thing that I noted was that the young man trying to start life in an environment where you don't have so many amenities for my social life was one very big challenge. So you really bring even a house where you don't have electricity. So if you want to charge your phone, that means you need to go to the clinic, or maybe you need to be a little bit innovative enough, maybe acquire a solar panel. So I think there could be a number of things. One of it could be making sure that the people we have to bring this necessary amendment. It might not be the social things. Basic things like a decent house, a decent accommodation, you have this power, so that when they are going to provide the care of the world, also provide them the basic things. That's one. And number two, essentially, I think the government is to recruit more health workers in a way. So the numbers that the government is would not be enough to reach out to all the needs like the rural areas in our. So if they could receive support to recruit more health workers so that they can deploy more, very sure that they'll be able to do that. Those. But I think from my understanding and from my experience working with the Maori government, they've done a very good job in at least training additional health workers. Numbers what are required. So you don't have to reach out to be deployed in the areas.
Way to get you here. And then what was the department of the policy?
Right, thank you so much. So, really, how I learned about the Rotary program, the Peace Fellowship program, was that during my work, I came across a doctor who also started at UNC, and it was also a Peace Fellowship. It was also a Peace Fellow during it. So when she saw what I was doing, like, this program about there's a program called the Rotary Peace Fellowship. I'm going to share with you a little bit of details. If you are interested, please, would you apply? Because from what I've seen, and I will say the way that you will be a strong candidate if you are. So I went through the website and tried to learn more, and then through our name is Brenda. For those of you who have been with the Rotary, you might know her. She's also from Malawi, but through her work, through our support fellowship, and indeed, could not get it the first time. I applied for the first time and did not get it, but then fortunately I was able to get it on the second. So when I got the fellowship, left Malawi for the first time. I've never left Malawi, really. Born and raised in Malawi, never traveled anywhere, even our neighboring country, just through walking across the border. I've never done it. So it was the first time me leaving the country, first time on the plane, first time leaving my family for a very long time. So when I moved to the US in August 2023, it was really a shock. Moving from that part of the world to the US, everything amazed me. I was really shocked for a very long time. I think John can attest to that. But here we are, 1 year, and this nothing changed. To stay away from my family for almost a year because my family just landed in the US for a month ago with the generous support for some of the members of this. I stayed without my family for about a year, yeah, close to a year. It was such a lonely time. Just the feeling that I could not touch my children whenever I wanted to. When I was waking up, I could travel for a week, 2 weeks. At the end of the day, I was like, oh, I'll be able to see my family and then I travel again. This time around, for the first time, it was 1,000 miles away. The only thing that I could do was to make calls and then first. But in a nutshell, it was not easy. It was very hard. Really some members of the staff and also other colleagues was with me. I think now I can have my mind in one place. It's been amazing. Thank you.
Gideon, that is an amazing story. Where are most of the refugees from in the camp that you work in?
Yeah, thank you so much. That is really very important. I have skipped that. So most of the refugees that we were accepting in Malawi, most of them are the Great Lakes region. So these include Burundi, Rwanda, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and few from Ethiopia and Somalia. The population that we have now in Malawi, over 50% of the refugees in the Democratic Republic.
Last question. So you're studying public health. How does that work with these fellow programs? Do all the people take different degree programs than you all need for certain classes?
Yes, so I think for every cohort, I mentioned that I'm passing to actually debating over 21 classes. But what we normally do is that we share together most of them, which are related to peace building. So for those parts, no matter whether you are just a bigger person or not, we still have to take those. The peace fellows from GPNC, so we have at GPNC, we have the global public health, we have others who are doing global studies, and then social work. Then we have those that are at two universities in what we call MITP. Most of the Jew fellows are doing it in MITP. For UNC, I think we have, but we do share classes every semester. So to run it through a first year and second year, we take mandatory peace about 3 or 4 peace building.
Well, that is great. I know as a fellow, you are probably doing stuff with a broader look. I don't know if you have some that's a. We'd love to give you a little token of our appreciation. Thank you, Gideon. And another round of applause. And Coach Gideon, if you have any follow-up questions after the meeting. So, rise, stay before we test on the meeting. And the things we think to do, is it the truth? Is it fair? Well, in the official policy. Thank you.